marvelous Manic Monday. It's Monday and we are on Craft Round the Clock for our Craft Round the Clock show today. I'm Sheila from Sweetie's Creations and Decor. So come in, jump on in, say hello, all those good things. And that way I can see your comments and your hearts. We are live and ready. So good morning, good morning. Hey, Miss Margaret, how are you today? Good to see you. Good morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit of my paint over here on my palette while we're kind of starting out. I'm gonna go ahead and mix a color here. I'm gonna have to get a little bit more of the green. Don't want it quite that dark. So let's get a little bit more of the apple green. Good morning. Hey, Tracy, good morning. Thank you for sharing me, sweet friend. So we've got this cute little gingy we're going to use today. And this is one of the Digital Deco Designs prints. She has closed, but you can use any kind of gingy print that you find, okay? So you don't have to do that. Just send me the information personally, okay? That's what I sent you in that message. Just send it to me personally. All right, so I am leaving a little space here for white or cream because I did want to go ahead. I still want to leave that a little bit darker like I had it. Hold on, I had a color I liked. Here it is. All right, so this is a little board that I have that I am repurposing. It was already painted green, but I'm going to paint it over a little bit. And I am using the Paint Pixie Sour Apple and a little bit of the chocolate soufflé. I mix those together to get me a sage color. So when you're starting to paint, and don't worry about buying all the colors, buy you some basic colors that you can mix the paints and get the color you want, because it gets very expensive to buy all that paint. And another thing is it dries up. So y'all wouldn't believe the paint I had to throw out that I haven't used in a while. It does kind of get dried up. So make sure that you do not buy every color when you're starting out. Buy you the basic colors. Remember your basic color mix and do it that way. So I like that green a lot better. This is a little dull. I love that color. So I just mix those two colors together to get my green, and we're going to repaint this. Now, I'm going to spritz just a little bit of water right there because that paint was getting a little dry. That'll give it a little. Now, you can always mix a little water. When you have chalk paint likes water. So it's okay to mix a little bit of water. You just don't want to pour a lot of water in there. And something too is that if you are mixing paint that you're going to put back in your bottle and you put a little water in it, make sure it is distilled water. Otherwise, you're going to possibly have some mold in your paint, which I did have to throw some moldy paint out too. I guess I had used regular water in it. So y'all, I'm just going to get some more of this color, paint the board. I'm going to leave this piece with the cream because that's where I'm going to be putting my print. But I just love this little print. I've used several of them last year, and I thought I'll just use one of those. I'm still going to be using the prints. They just won't be available anymore, but you can substitute something else. Or if you have this print already in your stash, then or you've got it in your PDF file, you can still use those. Just please don't share them to other people, okay? And also, when you're getting those free graphics online, don't share those with other people. Let them go to the person and get them themselves because they prefer that you don't share them with people. Unless they say you can, I don't share with other people. I have a lot of free graphics saved, but I don't share them. Not unless somebody said it's okay. I'm just going to paint this up. It won't take long for this to dry and be painted up. That's already painted. I'll paint the top here. Don't think I haven't painted the bottom. I'll paint the top. Yeah, I love to mix colors. I do. I have fun doing it. And y'all, we see a lot of watchers now. If y'all will just jump on, say hello, that helps our algorithm. It helps our videos stay out there. If we just have watchers and we don't have any comments or hearts or anything like that, they do not push our videos out. They already don't push them out, y'all. So anytime that you can help us by just joining us, by saying hello, and then if you got to listen, that is fine, okay? Fine. That just helps us right then. So it's pretty cool here this morning. It was in the 40s when we got up, 40 degrees. And we are now in 70-degree days. So if this holds out, we are actually in fall in the South. In Alabama, we are finally in fall. But that doesn't mean that we won't have next week. It'll decide to get to 80 one day. Thank you for those hearts. Thank y'all so much. You just kind of have to keep moving it and be still, and got to know the tricks, y'all. Unfortunately, you just got to have a few tricks there. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Ruby. Hey, Robin from Zimmy's. Hey, Robin from Zimmy's Simple Designs. Good to see you today. Y'all go follow my friends if you see them on here. If you haven't followed them before, please go and give them a follow. And double check that you are still following. I've got a little piece of the pixie dough mold, and it was already on there. And I said, I'm just going to keep that. And then I took a little bit of my Crimson Tide, which is a metallic from Paint Pixie. It's a kind of reddish pink metallic. And I just took a little bit of it and put it on here for a highlight. I'm having to touch up a couple places I got a little bit of paint on, so I'm going to just touch that up just a little bit, and that'll be done. I decided to leave it on there. Kind of liked it. All right, let's get us a light and get her on and kind of embellish her a little bit. Hey, Robin with Sun in the Mountains. Thank you for sending me stars. You're so sweet. Thank you. Hey, Diane. Hey, Jackie. Did I see? I think I saw Branya. Go by. Hey, Branya from Queen Bee's Bits and Baubles. Good to see you as well. So let's dry this up just a little bit so make sure it's dry before I put that on. Thank you. Hey, Tracy from Crafting Mom's Market. We got lots of friends on here this morning. So I took an extra time. So this is an extra time, but I know some of you are going to say, oh my goodness, she's going to be on every day this week on Craft Around the Clock. I will be on again on my regular time on Thursday. And then Friday, I'll be on Fun Friday. And you never know when I might pop up again, right? So, y'all, we wanted to kind of go out last night. And I said, no, it's getting cooler. I'm already sneezing. I do not need to be out in the public around anybody. So, I did not. So, then I'm going to add just a little bit of this color here, which is a peridot metallic. I want to put just a little bit metallic in, just in places, y'all. Not going to make it be all over. Just going to just dry brush it on just a little bit, just to give it another little look. That's all I'm doing. And welcome to my YouTube friends as well today. I forgot to say hello to you. Thank you for joining me. I am not live right now on YouTube. I forgot to do that. I'm just doing the video and I will post it there. But thank you for joining me, and please leave a heart there as well. So if you're not following me on YouTube, I am working on YouTube, putting some how-to videos on there, which Tracy challenged us with this week. So we're going to put some how-to videos so that you can learn some things. A lot of people like tips and things they can learn. And so that is right up something that I like to do. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. Okay, I like that. That just made it have a little bit of a different look. Okay, let's dry that a little bit. I certainly do appreciate it. Get a little bit of that paint off my hands so I won't be getting it on my print. Let's see. I don't think I have. Yeah, I do. We're just going to put her on with the bag today. I did not turn the iron on. So, I was just going to tell y'all real quick. I did put a sealer on all of these. Y'all saw me do these transfers. I did put my water-based sealer on top of all those. So those all have a seal now. And even on the tags. So if y'all missed those, that's a couple of those that I did last week. These are a couple of the transfers. And I did a video on transfers on how to, and it's on my YouTube. It's the same video that I did these on, but I kind of shortened it so that you just have a short version of kind of knowing how to do those. So we're going to take our Mod Podge, which I've got on order, so I will be getting some more of that in. I told you I was going to have to get some. I did. It's on. I'll be getting that. You can find it at Michael's. And you can find it on my Amazon shop. And I did order from Amazon because they had a coupon on Amazon that was less money for this than getting it from Michael's with their coupon. So it was on, I think it was 20, might have been a 20% coupon at Michael's, but this actually ran a little bit less. And a little bit less taxes, really. So I just got it. It's coming in. It'll be here tomorrow or Wednesday. And then I've got some other transfers coming in that I'll be using from Create Timeless Designs, and I'll be getting those in as well. So I have something new to do. So I'm kind of starting on my Christmas and winter now, more so than more fall. But I do have maybe a couple of more things I want to do in fall that I can use on in for Thanksgiving. All right, y'all, let me make sure I've got a good coat of that on there. It looks like I do. All right, we're just going to I put a thin coat, and I'm just going to put this on. I didn't turn on my iron today. We're just going to put this little friend right here. I did tear the edges of her, and I will have to go with some of that paint and kind of touch up on the edges where she doesn't meet. That's going to be fine. Well, even if you touch your paper, it's not going to hurt. Okay? I'm going to take my plastic bag and just push her down. So I'm just starting in the middle and pushing out, and then I'll put a little bit on the sides to kind of hold it down. I think I probably need just a little bit more. I'm so used to ironing, I think I've about forgotten how to do this, y'all. And I am using rice paper, I believe. Let me make sure this is rice paper, if it's plain paper. It's plain paper. So this is just plain paper that you buy. I buy mine from Walmart. Just get you a pack of paper. Get you some that will work in, if you have an inkjet, I always get the paper that says that works on an inkjet. You don't want the paper that's so inexpensive that it doesn't do well with your ink, which happens sometimes with printers. You want to make sure it does take your ink. Yeah, I'm just going to push this down. If y'all hear noise, the neighbors are having their driveway cleaned. And okay, that seems to be holding, y'all. Now I'm going to touch it up with some paint. So I just went around the edge of it. I don't seal mine till like the next day, and sometimes I don't seal them. Just up to you. Really, if you're just sitting these around and stuff, unless your house gets a lot of dust, you really don't have to seal everything. Just wipe it down with a little duster. That's all. You don't have to worry about sealing everything if you don't want to. And a lot of times, if you're going to recycle some of your surfaces, what I do sometimes, y'all, is I recycle to a different season, just because it's something maybe that didn't sell or that I can do another one of. So I just do something different. If you're going to do that, you don't want a lot of seal on that. That's harder to get off for you to repaint and all those things. So I don't always seal mine. It's just FYI, I don't always seal it. Okay, I'm going to get a little bitty brush of this, a little bit. Get a little bit more of that. A little bit more of my sage, mix that up. Kind of try to get around the same color or pretty close. And just kind of blend that in. And I'm okay if I get a little bit on the edge of my print. I do not worry about that. I'm just going in and filling that in a little bit right there. I am going to spray a little bit of water. It is a little dry. There we go. Now I've got it moving. And I'm just filling into the edge of this paper. 3 of them in a package. These are called We Are Tear Guides, and you can find those on my Amazon store on my link tree. So I do make a little bit of money off that. That does help. I appreciate you using my link for that. I've already got the link there. All you do is click on the link, and then it'll take you directly to that item. You don't have to search for the item. It's right there. There we go. So we got her kind of blended in. All right. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this Crimson Tide, I think. This Crimson Tide that I have here. And I do like to sometimes just add a few highlights to my paper, just to make it stand out a little bit. So I'm just going to take a little bit and put it on her scarf here. That's just going to get it to stand out a little bit with just a little bit of paint. I'm going to paint that part in there. Not really changing the color, just the texture of it a little bit. I'll show you with the, in just a sec, what it looks like with this versus where we don't have it. I'm just using a tiny brush to do that. And that's going to give her a little bit of a sparkle. A little bit of a sparkle. All right, let me do one of the pieces right here. Okay. If you look at where the dark is on there, you can see that it gave her a little bit of some metallic paint, and it's going to darken her scarf up just a little bit. I just want to give it a little bit of a dark color without taking away from what's there. Just adding just a little bit of color. Just a little bit of color. This one is, it's been updated, but you know, who knows what else it needs. You could also do this on, I do not have any of the sickles or anything. I need to get me some of those and add that in sometimes on these things. You can add this paint the same as you can do that. And you can do it for snow, different things like that. You can add some texture. I'm just kind of blending that in just a little bit there. And now I've got her hat matching too. So just darkened her in just a little bit, y'all, just a little bit. Just to give her a little something a little different. That's all, just a little something different. All right, let's see what else we're gonna do here. Let me think of what else I was gonna do. I also found these either at the dollar store, or I think I found these at also at, I'm pretty sure I got these at Hobby Lobby. But these were just some little patterns that you can do with the kids and stuff. But look how cute that would be on a piece of board. And then you can add all the details on it, and you have a pattern. It's kind of that, I don't know, it's not felt, it's kind of a plastic. But these would be darling to fix up and put those on a board. Easy peasy decorating, right? Okay, we got her on that. We're gonna dry that up a little bit. I got these little, I got these last year when they had marked everything down. And these were in the, like, the little Christmas shop at Hobby Lobby. Be watching for them to mark fall down before too long. They usually mark some of it down a little bit more before Thanksgiving, trying to get a little bit more sold. So be watching for that, because they may do that pretty soon. So I'm just folding the back of the tree. So I just took it and took the bristles, and this is a little wire tree, and folded it down so that it'll stick on our print a little bit better. And look at the little, isn't that cute? I love it. I'm going to kind of cover up this green tree with this little pink tree, because she does have pink, so I think that's cute. You could move it up. I'm going to move it up just a little bit so it's kind of right at the side of her. So she's fixing to decorate her tree. We're just going to put a little hot glue on there. I should have probably turned on our Roby. It's got a little bit in it, I believe, just in case. All right, we're just gonna put this here, and that's gonna give her her little pink tree. I'm gonna try to fix this other side where I've got that kind of fluffed up a little bit. Okay, let me push that a little bit. Kind of, yeah, I'm bringing this around. There we go. I'll just put a little hot glue. Kind of makes your bristles kind of go shh with the heat, so be careful with it. That's why I try to put it, you know, not as much, kind of not generous, but just a little. So look how cute that is for a little effect. Isn't that cute? I made some of these with some other gingies, and I took these little trees and made a little village, I think it was last year, and I loved that too. I thought that was cute. And I did a little candy cane. That's gonna go in her hand. Let me go ahead and stick just a little bit of glue with that. I'm gonna use the fabric tack with this, y'all, because that hot glue kind of makes it, gives it a big bump on there, and I don't want that. I want it to look right. So I'm gonna start it, just a little bit of fabric glue, and I'm just gonna put a little bit up on it so that when I wind it around, it'll kind of stick. And I'm just using this little cord that you can get. I'm just gonna take it right on this side and just wrap it around. Y'all seen me do this before. I'm just gonna kind of wrap it to where it looks like a candy cane. And it kind of moves on you. It is a little, moves on you a little bit. You kind of have to go back and kind of move them the way you want them. And you know, candy canes are not perfect, so don't worry about your perfection on it. I'm just tacking it on the back side here. A little bit of glue. Just right there. Cut that off. Then I'm gonna go back. I need to get some more of these little scissors. These are great from the Dollar Tree, but you do have to replace them because they do get, I probably can get some foil and try that and see if that'll sharpen them a little bit. And just kind of move these where you want, y'all. They don't have to be, like I said, no perfection with it. Yes, this is a piece of pixie dough. I just took my pixie dough and just rolled it out, and then I just made it like I want. It's a molding clay that you can get from Paint Pixie. I do like the way that it does, and you can mold all kinds of things. I use it a lot for molding my own. And you just do it like that and just bend it over is all you got to do, and then leave it out to dry. Let it dry last night. Isn't that cute? Cute little idea. So let's put it down with a little bit of this. She's going to have this in her hand. Got a little, I'm getting the glue to come out there. Now she's got a little candy cane right there in her hand. Okay, we'll see if that'll stay down. If not, we'll put a little hot glue. I'm hoping that'll hold. All right, now let's do her a couple of snowflakes, or at least one. Let's see which one I want. I kind of like that big snowflake. Thought about a little one here on the, I don't know if that's too big. I had another little candy cane that was in the same little group, but I liked this one better. But they do have these little, for small Christmas trees. Always check that department. That's where you can get a lot of your little things, your little gingies, all kinds of things that you can get in there to put on your projects. I think that one might be cute there. So let's take that one. Let's paint it up in a little bit. I'm just going to use a cream puff because I've got it out here. You can do white, cream puff, whichever one you want. This one. A little bit of white. I think I'm going to put a little bit of this modeling paste in there and make it a little bit chunky. So give me just a second. I'm going to mix some of that. Let me go ahead and put a base coat on. That kind of helps. Then you don't see through it as much. Go ahead and just put that on. And I kind of like this color because it's kind of between a white and a cream, and I think it's going to match up with our print really well. So I don't know if we'll use that one, but we'll definitely use this one. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of this clay out. This is just modeling clay. You can do all kinds of things with this too. And it makes some good little snow here. Okay. I mixed just a little bit of paint with it, with mine. Okay, let's put just a little bit of that paint in there, and that's just going to give it a little bit more color. And then you can just take it and just tap it on, and that's going to make it kind of look like snow. You also could use some of the some glitter or the diamond dust. I really don't want to put diamond dust on this, but you can. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of that texture on there. And then I'm going to take a little bit. She's got a little bit of snow on her here and there, and I'm just going to take a little bit of that texture and kind of put around on her foot like she stepped in the snow, and then maybe a little bit up here on her head. Just for another effect, a little 3D effect. A little bit here on her hat. Just wherever you feel it. Just wherever you feel like you want to put it. Just makes it look like she's got a little snow. So that's a great product to use for snow. And then you can put a little bit over in your tree as well by just tapping it on. And that's going to give it a little snow. Look how cute that looks with that little snow. Just a couple little places. Doesn't have to be a lot. You put a little bit over here. There's a little bit left. I think I'll stick a little bit of that on her little gingerbread house in the background. Now this is supposed to look like it's in the background. If you're wondering about the size of it, she's supposed to be walking away from her little house here. Oh yeah, that looks cute. That looks cute. I like that. Okay, let's put this. It's not quite dry, so just be careful with it when you're holding it. And I'm going to put, it's going to melt this. So let's go ahead and use, hold on, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think I'll use this. Let's put the snowflake on with this 3-in-1. Hold on. I'm afraid that if I put the hot glue on there, it's going to pop right. It's going to burn those little bristles, and that's not going to look good. So let's put this right about here. And she put her little star on here, her little snowflake for a star. I like that on there. That's looking cute. Yeah, just whatever you want to do with it. Snow, whatever you want to add. Now I'm going to put a little bow up here, y'all, but it's going to have to be a little short bow because we don't want to take away from her hat. I might put it kind of in the corner. I'm going to look at that. Yeah, she's looking cute, isn't she? All right, and I am going to use this little Gingy here for a tag. And I know this is the little boy, and that's okay. I don't have a little girl left. The little bow was more red, and I just took a little bit of this Crimson Tide and painted my bow so it would be more the color. So we'll put that in our little bow too. So do that for me. All right, let's put this little dark green here on the bottom. Yeah, we're just gonna make a little short bow. I could have used my little small bow dabra. I'm just gonna use this one and then we'll do the other one. I've seen people do this different ways, so you can do it however you want to. So if you want to start and you don't want a bunch of tails and you're making a smaller bow, you can just take it and go back and forth a few times. And don't add your tails. Just like that. Okay, we'll just stop that one. And then you can add tails on whichever ones you want to. And that way you don't have as many tails if you're doing a shorter, smaller bow. So now I'm going to add this cream in there. I'm going to do the same thing. So all kinds of ways you can use these bow dabbers. No, doesn't have to be a certain way, doesn't have to be certain anything. Use whatever you want in there. I'm going to use a little bit of this ribbon. You see how we have the reddish and the pinkish in this one? This was some I picked up one day, and I am going to leave that down. I picked this up, I believe, at Joann's when they had a sale, 90% off after Christmas, and I'm pretty sure that's when I got that. I thought it was cute. It actually wasn't Christmas. I remember now it was Valentine's. It was for Valentine's, and I thought, well, I can use that all the time. It doesn't have to be a certain season. So always look and pick up some things like that. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. Okay, I've got a little bit of white in here. Let's put a little bit of this in there. Well, no, I think I'm gonna put this green. This is a piece of sari silk, and if I remember correctly, Mindy, I believe, sent me this. I got it in Happy Mail, and I can't remember, but I think maybe Mindy sent it to me. Okay, I like that little pink in there. That's another piece of sari silk. Let me get this string. Pull that back. You can always move it and play with it once you get it out. If somebody buys the sisal, send me a note. I know a lot of creators use it, but I'm not sure which one to get. So I don't know which one to buy. I look at them and then I get more confused, because it can be expensive. But it's kind of cute. And I also like to put, sometimes I just like to put some other little things in there. So there we go on our bow. So when you get your bow done, just shake it out a little bit. Shake it out, shake it out. And then you kind of have to just pull these. Sometimes they get, once you've got them on there, sometimes they are a little too long. Sometimes the bow is a little too long. So that white one's a little long. I'm just going to pull it. You just pull it and get it the way you want. And let's see how this looks now. I'm really going to have to trim it a little bit. Let's see if we pull a couple of those out a little bit. There we go. I think that bow's going to still be cute. But I think up here it's going to hide too much of her. I don't know. Let's see if we could trim it a little bit. I could put it up this way a little bit. Yeah, we can. We can put it right here on the middle. Let me use my Ryobi, this little blue here. There we go. All right, let's take this and put it right up in here. That'll look good. That'll look fine. We're going to trim it out a little bit. I'm going to trim it. I'm going to wait and trim it. Let's let it stick there, because I've got a couple I need to move around. We won't worry about it right this minute, because I'm going to put some things on there. So let's put our little gingy. That's going to be our little tag. Let's see if we can put it under to where you can still see it. So I'm just going to put it back here in these bows. So you kind of just put it up, just find you a place and glue it up in your bow, and then you can kind of trim it off. I'm going to put it right here under this one where you can't see. Kind of pull your bow up a little bit, your little loops. Put you some hot glue. Use your little tool so you don't burn yourself. And then just attach your little string that's on it here. Hold on, y'all. Just want to do everything but stick to where I need it to stick. Of course, when you're live. There we go. Now I got that hanging down for its little tag. I'll trim those off. Now let's put a little bit, we got a minute. I'm gonna stick a little bit of this greenery in there. And one of those little peppermints, I might put that in there. But I'm gonna trim up my bow a little bit, make her cuter. Thank you for the hearts. I am gonna trim it up a little bit.